Namaste and welcome again. I hope all of you are practicing the self-improvement techniques. Now we are talking about developing our character for self-improvement. Today we are going to talk about a very important aspect of character development, and that is a balanced perspective. Balance is very important because it stops us from doing or thinking anything in excess. Balance would mean that we are able to do everything in a proper level, a requirement of what we already know. So anything which makes us imbalanced, that would be a terrible mistake. So any self-improvement activity should see that whatever is the limit within which our attitudes, our actions need to be, those things we have to keep within the limit. And that is what balance is all about. We have many examples of balance. Those of you who know yoga, you practice yoga, you will find that many of the postures, many of the asanas teach us physical balance. Those of you who study biology will know that our ears are the organ of balance. We don't fall down because there is a mechanism, a God-given mechanism, which keeps the physical body in balance. Even when you trip, suppose you're just falling down, then the organ of balance maintains you in the correct position. So physical balance is very important. When you see a small child learning to walk, you will find how difficult the child finds to maintain a balance. Today, grown up, all of us can walk straight. We don't have to look for that balance. It comes automatically. So if we practice balance in other aspects of our life also, just like we learned to walk, just like we learned to balance ourselves on our 2 feet, carry the whole weight of the body on those 2 little feet, we will be able to lead a comfortable life. Character building, self-improvement, in all these aspects, balance is most important. I'm sure many of you have heard the term work-life balance. Now, why has this phrase become so popular today? We all know that people are sometimes losing their balance between these 2 things. One is work and the other is life. I know young students, it seems when they are preparing for entrance examinations, they are made to study Monday to Sunday, no holiday. And they are made to study from morning 8 till evening 8. Finally, when they get through the competitive exam and they come to the next level of the course, they get into whichever course they were aiming for. They have become like machines. They are no longer human beings. They have lost all the verve, energy, enthusiasm. Their one aim is that we should rest completely, we should relax, we should not work hard anymore, because they have been overworked. They have lost all aspects of life. So we have to remember, when we are working in a company also, when we are working, our careers have taken off. We have a very high-powered job, and we devote all our time to the job. These days, people are always talking about earning a huge salary as success. They feel that if you want to prove yourself to be a success, then you have to get a huge salary. Nothing else, work satisfaction, the ability to share your earnings with your family, to spend time with them. All these are not considered. So I'm talking about work on one side and life on the other side. What is life? Life requires all kinds of activities. Job is very important, no doubt. Studies are very important, of course. But in addition to them, we also need to do a variety of other things. A little bit of relaxation makes the mind stronger. It makes the mind grasp better. A little activity like a small holiday or a small break makes us work more efficiently. Recently, I read that in Iceland, they are trying out a 4-day week. Now we have a 5-day week in some places and a 6-day week in some places in our country. So in Iceland, far away, they're trying out 4-day week. And the result of this experiment is that people are performing much better because they are doing intense activity 4 days and they are doing an activity of their choice, a hobby or an, pleasure or serious thought, spiritual pursuits on the remaining 3 days. They have a lot of time. So that gives a balance. Therefore, we need to think carefully about work-life balance. Then we have temperamental balance. Many people are very imbalanced. Suddenly, one day they say that we will do only this. They continue to do that activity till that activity is completely exhausted. Then they start another one. I'm sure all of you have heard variety is the spice of life. So we need to do a little of everything. For instance, a spiritually inclined person, a person who's extremely religious, who believes, who has great faith, sometimes forgets to smile. The smile is a beautiful arrangement of our facial muscles. It builds up a lot of relationships. It makes us experience another dimension of life. In fact, these days, health experts tell us that laughter therapy is very important. At one time in the day, at least you should laugh loudly. You should enjoy. So some people say, no, we are very serious. We cannot laugh. You tell them a joke. You say, no, no, I cannot laugh because I have taken a vow of only keep being serious. So you are only playing one note of the instrument. This example Sri Ramakrishna used to give. He used to say that there are 7 notes in the musical instrument. Why should I only play one note? Let me play all the 7 notes. So if you are serious, sometimes you can be humorous. You can sometimes smile and laugh. If you're very frivolous, all the time you're making jokes, you're laughing, then you need to be serious sometimes. You cannot only be frivolous. You cannot only laugh all the time. So we need to have a balance. Look at the balance in our food. You cannot say that I want one kind of food only. We have rice, we have curries, we have sambar, dal, etc. We have curd, we have sweet, something bitter, something sweet, something, leafy, all this. So if somebody gives you only rice, I heard that, some people are so poor that they do not get anything other than rice and possibly a little salt. Imagine, they are being deprived. This was how our mother was also suffering at one time. After the passing away of Sri Ramakrishna, she could not get any money even to buy salt. She would just eat a little rice with some green which was grown in the backyard. So we require balance in everything. But in spite of not having a nutritional balance, the mother was extremely balanced temperamentally. So we have to look at all aspects of balance. Balance in beliefs is very important. Why do we have so much hatred? Because of religion, you know, feeling that I believe only this religion and all other religions are terrible, or people who belong to other religions are my enemies. This kind of a thing is imbalanced beliefs. We should believe that my religion is excellent for me, but also everybody else's religion is suitable for them. We don't think like that. Again, Sri Ramakrishna's example comes to mind. He used to say, everybody thinks my watch is correct. You look at your watch, it is 4 o'clock. Somebody else looks at the watch, they say, no, it is 5 minutes past 4. Another person comes and says, no, no, it is not 5 minutes past 4, but it is 1 minute still left for 4 o'clock. So what are you doing? You are just insisting that whatever you believe is only right. Only your watch is right. So we should not be like that. We should instead learn to think, this is negotiation, that others are also sometimes right. If you are certain that you are right, then you can insist. Otherwise, you listen to others whom you believe they might be right. And in this case, a lot of imbalance has come into society today because we have got fossilized beliefs. Somebody says that only what I believe is right. That is not correct. You might have heard a common phrase which is being used today very often. It is my way or it is the highway. That means whatever I say, whatever I tell you, whatever I believe, you have to believe, all of you have to believe that. You cannot have difference. So if you don't believe me, you please go. Highway, that is what the word highway means. That means I have no interaction with you unless you believe in what I say. This is imbalanced temperament. It shows a character flaw, and it is a great barrier in the path of our self-improvement. So we have to keep the banner of self-improvement in mind. Now we come to this point, and that is character building. So how are we going to improve our character? We are going to improve it by having the balance. Let us see how balanced great people have always been. When Sri Krishna is talking to Arjuna, at a moment when he lost his balance, he lost his emotional balance. He said, no, I cannot fight because these are all my cousins. These are my, grandsire, my gurus, my relatives. I cannot fight. So imbalanced. Then what is Sri Krishna telling him? He's telling him again and again about balance. He says, you be balanced. Think that you're not killing anybody because already their fate is decided. The writing is there that everybody will die. None of them will be alive. So you be balanced. He says, in one of the shlokas in the Bhagavad Gita, he says, sorrow should not make you imbalanced. Joy should not make you imbalanced. Attachment, anger, fear should not make you imbalanced. In all these cases, if you have total balance, if you have total equanimity, sthita prajna, that is what he says, equanimity, equal, ability to balance equally, then you are a real human being. Then you have achieved excellence. So this is what you have to strive for. Similarly, Sri Ramakrishna used to say, he was a highly spiritual person. His aim was to teach spirituality to everybody, to his disciples, to others, to everybody. He's teaching spirituality. And then what does he say? He says that you can't be totally absorbed only in spirituality and become foolish. Spirituality does not allow you to be a foolish person. You have to be worldly wise also. This advice he gave to many people who thought that spirituality is escapism. This is the imbalance, that you want to escape from everything. So you close your eyes and say, oh, I'm meditating, I'm very spiritual. No, we have to balance. Our spirituality needs to be balanced with our worldly wisdom. We have to be wise, but we should not be ignorant. This is why Swami Vivekananda established not only the Ramakrishna Mutt, which is a spiritual organization, but also the Ramakrishna Mission, which is a social service organization. The motto has a beautiful balance. You look at the motto and you will find the balance. You look at the emblem of Ramakrishna Mutt and Mission, you find a beautiful balance. You find in the life of Holy Mother also a great balance. The mother used to have compassion for everybody. So one day the cat was drinking all the water. The sister-in-law got so angry and started beating the cat. Look at the message of balance the mother gives. The mother says, it is summer. The cat is thirsty. Already the cat has started drinking from that vessel. Why do you beat the cat? Let the cat quench its thirst. Because there is nobody in this world who doesn't have my compassion, my feeling of empathy. This is what she tells the sister-in-law. You can see how much balance is being taught here. We can easily see how balance can be learned like this. Now, we have a saying, checks and balances. I'm sure you've heard all this. Checks and balances. What does it mean? It means that we need to check first, and then only we can achieve the balance. So, like I told you right in the beginning of this self-improvement sessions, that we have to analyze ourselves. So testing ourselves, spending time with ourselves tells us how much balance we have and how much imbalance we have. Suppose you go out for a wonderful feast. You go on eating and eating. Your body is not accepting it anymore. Your body is telling you, have some balance, eat only as much as you need. But the mind is telling you, go on eating and eating and eating. Then what happens to you? You fall ill. So imbalance, immediate result, that is, you fall ill. That is how our samskaras are built up. That is how our karma is built or worked off. So if we really want a good life, we need to think in these terms. We need to think of the balance which we need to have. Now, what are the contexts in which we can look at the balance? I told you that if we do anything in excess, then it becomes an imbalance. So what we do in excess, even if it is a good thing, it becomes an addiction. Suppose you have friends. You say, oh, I cannot live without my friends. I will die if I don't have friends. My friends are everything. That is an addiction. You must not depend so much on others. You must not make others depend so much on you. Friendship is wonderful, but excess of friendship, when you give up your personality because you have no personality at all, then that is an excess. So although it's a good thing, it becomes toxic. It becomes poisonous. It becomes an addiction. We usually think that addiction is smoking or drinking, things like that. But it is not true. Anything can become an addiction. I gave you the example of working. I gave you the example of reading, studying. So reading also similarly. You don't do anything else. 24 hours of each day, you read. Then what happens? Your abilities in other fields become less. You become a great scholar, but you have to have variety. This variety is most important. And that is the variety which all these great people have been teaching us. So look at the context. Are you dependent on something in an excessive way? There you require balance. Situations come in our life like sorrow, intense suffering. This might make us lose our balance. So we need to train ourselves. That is why self-improvement requires practice, training. We need to train ourselves to be able to handle sorrow or suffering or disappointment. We should not become, like I told you earlier, impatient. Impatient. Patience also is very closely related to balance. We are dividing all this because we want to, uh, you know, talk about each aspect individually. But please remember that our entire personality development or our entire self improvement is a single unit. These are all the parts which make that single unit. It is like the strings, the beads around the string. Then it becomes a chain. Or it is like the puzzle, pieces of puzzle. As children, we used to do, I remember. You have small pieces, you have to fit it in the correct place. There is Bengal, there is Uttar Pradesh, there is Maharashtra. So they are small, small pieces. There is a block of wood. You have to fit it in the correct place. The whole map of India comes through. So that is what is most important. Wherever we are getting imbalanced, there we have to see that how we can combine all these ideas. I told you about critical thinking. I told you about speech and silence. These all are parts of balance. Unless we have a balanced perspective, we will not be able to analyze, we will not be able to learn. Rather than analysis only, it is the learning which is important. First you learn and then you practice. It becomes ingrained. It becomes a part of our character. And then, of course, we don't have any worries. Similarly, not only disappointment or sorrow or suffering or depression, but even excitement, happiness, joy, adrenaline flow. This is what we always want. Very often we find that there are people who engage in adventure sports. They climb mountains, they go for, balloon rides, etc. Very often, if they are not well trained, they have an accident. And the accident is fatal. They die. Why do they do that? Because they want that excitement. So excitement is very good if it is within the limit. If you are constantly seeking excitement, then it is not good. We found that, in a recent racing uh, track, there was a huge accident because somebody was holding a placard. I'm sure you get all this information these days, social media and print media and television, etc., give us news from far and wide. We are not really restricted to our city, our state, our country anymore. We get news from everywhere. The pandemic has shown us how imbalanced we are becoming. Recently, they are saying that there is such a crowd in the hill stations because for more than a year, people have not gone on a holiday. Now they have all gone on a holiday. There is crowding. So they say that be very careful because the pandemic is still on. Don't behave like that. Don't be irresponsible. So what happened? They became imbalanced. In a lifetime of 100 years or 50 years, what is 1 year or 2 years? We just have to be disciplined for a couple of years, and then the pandemic will be a thing of the past. So what we require here is balance. People tell us this is right and this is wrong, but we don't have the ability to accept that advice, to accept that suggestion, because we lack balance. Now, why we need to think about balance is because whatever we like, we do more. Whatever we dislike, even if it's very good, if we dislike it, we, don't do it at all. This is what balance is. I often found students reading one subject and not reading others. Now, why? Because the reason is quite clear. They say, oh, I'm very good at maths, so I'll go on doing maths and maths and maths. I don't like English, so I will avoid English. Somebody else says, oh, I love literature, then I will ignore economics or ignore history or political science or whatever other subjects. In this way, we are losing our balance. In our day-to-day activity also, we often do not have balance. The reason we do not have balance is because time, I told you how important time is. We don't know how to balance time. We don't know how to balance resources. Suppose you earn a few thousand rupees, and what you do? At the end of the month, you find you have no money left because you've spent a lot in the beginning. So what would a balanced budget be? A balanced budget is, you see, the month has 30 or 31 days. How much do I require? And how am I going to spend all this? These are very important. We have a saying, I remember in childhood, they used to always tell us, all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. All work and no play. So if you play too much, that is also bad. If you work too much, that is also bad because you are losing your balance. Very often in critical situations, people lose their ability to decide. They forget how to make decisions. And that is the result of imbalance. Very often, if you make wrong decisions, then you are in a terrible trouble. You are in a terrible state. The reason for this is that if you have the idea that you would like to lead a life where you have built up your abilities, where you have made yourself better and better and continue to improve yourself, then you are seeking certain qualities. And what are these qualities which you're seeking? You are seeking the building up of your character. You're seeking an overall improvement, self-improvement. So what you require to do is to be vigilant. All the time, if you are vigilant, you will immediately know whether you're balanced or imbalanced. When I see the comments which come in some of these videos, many other videos also on YouTube, I often see what the others are writing. I would like you to analyze and see, is there any point where I could have said something which would have made the presentation more balanced? Sometimes when I listen to a presentation once more, maybe many years later, I might find that it's very imbalanced. Who can tell us best except ourselves? Not only others, but ourselves. So that is why I feel that self-improvement makes a lot of sense. Improving with the help of others is possible. We are all the time improving with the help of others, outside impetus. But if we are doing it ourselves, it is very, very important. All these require balance. How to cultivate this balance is by spending time with ourselves, by being self-critical, knowing what is we are capable of, estimate, self-esteem. How do you build up your self-esteem? Only by knowing your strengths and weaknesses. Only by knowing in which situation you did what, you spoke what words, or how you behaved, or what you thought. These things, if you keep looking at, you will find that you are able to benefit much. One youngster was telling me that, I have so many questions. So I said, read these books. I gave a list of books, Sri Ramakrishna's life, Mother's life, etc. Then they said, no, we are listening to a lot of videos and, about the life of Mother, about the life of the Master. Then I said, is it reading better or listening better? Then I said, you have to balance. What is important is read if you like, listen if you like. But for every sentence which you listen or read, you have to spend one whole day in contemplation. That is what balance is all about. You have to learn only by balancing the idea. The story of Yudhishthira is very important. He could learn as a child only one sentence, it seems. The younger brothers and cousins could learn everything. Then the master said, why? Your younger brothers are so intelligent, you are so dull. Then Yudhishthira said, Master, I practice whatever I say that I have learned. If I say, speak the truth, one sentence, 3 words, then I practice the whole day, speak the truth. Don't harm others. Then I practice the whole day, don't harm others. Then I come and tell you that I have learned. Look at the balance here. Look at the manner in which we are learning mechanically. We are just forgetting whatever we have learned because the knowledge never becomes a part of our psyche. We just gain information, but we don't benefit from it. So we need to keep this in mind, that unless we have balance, we are not going to progress. Just like, suppose we break our leg, then we need a stick to walk for some time because 2 legs were there. Now only 1 leg is there and the other is broken. So we require some sticks. So you put 2 sticks and then you go forward because you are not able to put the weight to balance on your legs, on your feet. That means we cannot progress without some help. And that help is what gives us balance. Luckily, the world has something called gravity, which gives us a lot of physical balance. Now, let your faith be your mental gravity. Let your faith be your emotional gravity. Let your temperament change and become more balanced because you have the right beliefs. And you know when your beliefs are wrong and you're able to correct them. That is what balance is all about. I hope all of you will practice. Thank you and namaste.